large number of reasons that women's libido changes in the perimenopause and menopause, not the least of which are hormonal fluctuations, which bring with them headaches, mood changes, disturbed sleep, fatigue, and all kinds of social changes that are not conducive to sexual desire. There are some other social issues that also occur at that time of life in many, but not all women. They include having teenage children or children they're sending off to college. They may also have aging parents, which are an added stressor in their lives or on their finances, which bring added stress to their intimate relationship. And put together all of those things with an overall decrease in testosterone, which is the hormone of desire, that can all synergize at that time of life. In addition, duration of one's intimate relationship in women is associated with a decrease in spontaneous sexual desire. You put all of those things together, sexual desire goes down.
Add in all those 103 plus symptoms that many of the women could be experiencing, a number of them, which, if you're having night sweats or your anxiety's through the roof or your self-esteem has changed or you gained weight or whatever it is, all of that factors into your desire as well, because you may not feel good about yourself and you may not want to see be seen naked or whatever it is. So the whole self-confidence thing or how you're feeling mentally and physically play a role as well. There's also other hormones that can come into play. So like, for example, when we go into perimenopause and menopause, things like our thyroid might shift, right? So, and we know one of the major side effects of a hypothyroid is lack of sexual desire or loss of libido. So I think, looking at hormones as a whole, in addition to our sex hormones, is important because there can be other things. It can be adrenals, right? It can be cortisol. Like there's different things that can be involved. So making sure that our healthcare system, our doctors look at everything in the big picture is important.
Spontaneous sexual thoughts and fantasies are much more common in younger women than they are in older or menopausal women. But responsive desire or reactive desire are still present in many of those women. So it may be not terrible advice to recommend that they try and experience engagement in sexual behavior to see if that will trigger responsive desire. It's not just do it because you're supposed to do it and it's your responsibility as a married partner or as a wife or whatever, which, by the way, I don't agree with that as a reason, but to find out if responsive desire is latent in that woman is very important, because it may become her new normal.
I do like that point of view. And it also gives a different perspective to what we women would take those answers as, right? So when you hear do it anyway because it's your wifely duty, that's very, for what you're saying, in that nuance is very different. And I actually like that perspective because, and if it was explained to us, I think in that way, that would make a lot of sense, right? And I think we would take it in a different way. So thank you for that perspective.
Unless a woman knows that responsive desire is an actual thing, it may be that she'll feel abnormal, or there's something wrong with her, or their relationship is bad when she doesn't have any real signals that it is. And so describing the process of responsive desire can often take a lot of emotional and physical baggage off of that woman and allow her to have a very good, positive sexual relationship with her longstanding partner.
And just to note as well is that our study that James and I co-authored, most of the response, like most of the women who responded to it were in a relationship, long-standing relationship for 10 or plus years, and a lot of over 20 years.
Change doctors, change practitioners. Don't be afraid to challenge that person, even though they've got the MD or the NP or whatever. You're just commenting about how you feel in your body. Sometimes the practitioner's going to be right. Sometimes the patient's going to be right, but the patient is the customer, and on some level, the customer is always right. We're all patients, including me, and if I don't like what my practitioner says, I'm going to challenge him or her on it, and maybe they can convince me. I've been wrong many times, but maybe they can't convince me, and they need to accept my point of view.